So today's project, I'm going to replace the clutch on this because my father burned it up. Doesn't look too hard. Split the tractor in half. So we're going to attempt this. I'm going to set up a couple different cameras. See how long it takes. Looks like I'm going to start with pulling this high pressure hydraulic line here. Disconnect some things, some sensors. And then I have a coolant hose here that I need to disconnect. So I'm just going to pop that clamp. There's a filter right here to help drain it. Then I'm just going to pop that clamp off, split this connection here. For this line, I might pop it off right here, but we'll see. I'll keep you posted on that. Not quite sure who put that on there, but it is tight. All right, we're gonna go to the strap wrench. Here's a strap wrench. I'll show you how to use it. If you don't already know, you're gonna know more. Okay. So, got a 1/2 inch drive, got a 3/8 drive. Simply slide that thing on there. Pull that up. Doing this one-handed. Now that this thing's almost done draining, let's fill up a 5-gallon bucket. I'm going to remove this connection here. So this is feeding the filter. So you can see, kind of, I can climb down there and show you. Right here. And it comes up right here and goes into the pump. I got 3 different tools to use. This is for those clamps. Get that off of Amazon. Or you can use needle nose, regular set of pliers. Take this guy. When you squeeze the handle here, so you put this thing, put the clamp on there, and you give it a squeeze, and it opens the clamp for you. And it has a little lock, and it locks itself. And then that just holds the clamp open. You can slide the clamp off. Be careful it doesn't fall off. It's spring loaded, so the clamp can shoot off of this like it almost is right there. And the thing will spring, it'll hit you in the fingers, and you'll be yelling and screaming and all that good stuff. So just be careful. I'm gonna set the phone down so I can squeeze this a little bit more to open that clamp up. I squeezed it more, and it opens that clamp up, and then you're able to slide it off. Now you simply release the thing, and the clamp goes back to normal size, and boom, it's off. So now to get the hose seal broke off of the metal tubing, we're going to use one of these bent pick tools right here. And this one's like a Snap-on or something. This is some off-brand. So they all work the same. So you simply shove that in the hose and work it around. Now you're loose. That easy. So I'm going to pull the hood, and by looking at it, looks like you have one bolt right here because the bottom of these are open. So that tells me that this drops down on this pin here. So looks like you have a cotter pin here for the gas shock, You're gonna pull that bolt all the way out because right now the bolt is behind. It's threaded all the way up underneath this pin, so that's what locks it into place. So we're gonna back this thing out of here and see if we can move this. So it's a 12 millimeter. I'm gonna go get a socket. All right, we're back. Just gonna back it out until it's flush. Like that. Then we're gonna pull this pin like that. Then there's a connector here, it looks like, for the headlights and shit. So we're gonna push that down. Get that pin disconnected. Fish that through there. And then just pop this out. Hopefully without breaking it. It's got little release tabs on it. Right there. And right there. Squeeze them together, it'll pull out. You can see right there. If you squeeze those and just push up, it'll come out. All right, looks like we're loose. We're gonna slide this off. I'm gonna close this down, see if I can pick this thing up by myself. We'll see. So this is slowed down dripping, but I'm going to put the filter back on it, so that way it just stops dripping. Maybe. Now it will stop dripping. So it looks like the parking brake switch can be disconnected. The harness is here, and there's a little safety tab on it. The little latch right here that you push down, and you separate them. Now we have a throttle cable here. This cable goes down to the throttle pedal. It's right back there. You can see it. There's a cotter pin. You have some jam nuts right there. You take those off and that cable will come loose. So there's the jam nuts right there. So I just loosen up the back one. Don't touch the front one. And then when you reinstall, just tighten up the back one to the front one. So then you're gonna have a cotter pin right there. So you're gonna take all that off and the cable will be loose. So I'm looking at this line here. Feeds the hydraulic body, whatever the thing. I think I'm gonna bust it here and remove it here. So this is loose because it's wrapped around all this frame here. It goes up and over it, and then it comes down and around it. And you have to remember that the tractor's splitting right here. So shit needs to go one way or the other. I can also see here this bracket's bolted to the backside, which is the steering and all that. But then I have my steering shaft coming here, so I'm going to have to split that here too to get that apart. That's over here. Jesus. Look at that. Let's remove both bolts on that. No wonder why it's not coming off. Whew! Look at that. All right, we're back. Continuing this tractor. Took yesterday off, had other stuff going on. Where did we leave off? We removed that hose. We got this loose. We drained all the hydraulic fluid. We pulled this cable off. Now, plan of attack here. Remove this. There's 4 bolts. There's one right down there. There's another one. And then on the same thing on the other side. Then there's a bolt down here in the center. Right there. And then there's a bolt over here on the cowl. And then there's a bolt up top in the center. And there's another one of these on that side. So I'm not sure if I need to remove the steering wheel to get the orange cowling off. I can see in here that in the bottom of the gauge cluster there's a bolt over here, so there's probably another one over here. So the orange has to come off first, probably, and then the steering wheel has to get removed so the orange can come off, and then we'll pull the cluster out. That's what I'm thinking. First, we're going to start off by removing the steering wheel, and to do that, you need to remove the center cap. So let's see what's going on with that. Let's see. It's coming. Hey, all right. $17. No, needs a little bit more persuasion than that. I think the persuasion is going to be me physically getting on this thing and yanking on it. Let's see. No. Well, that didn't work. Back to the drawing board. All right. I see the drawing board. I'm gonna get a punch and get a hammer. I'm gonna tap it from the back side. We'll try to shock it because I can see the collar right here. So let's go to this side and see if we can. Hey, easy peasy, just like that. See that's how I was hitting right here on the collar. You can see it goes all the way through. So, done. Pull a little boot off. Now, it looks like a 12 mil socket. And we're gonna rip all these bolts out. So we'll start over here. I'll come down here. And I'm gonna come up here. And we're gonna go to the other side. Hey, this little thing pulls off. Now we can see what we need to disconnect. Okay, there's a plug right here. And then, then you have switches in here that disconnect. And let's do that real quick. Oh, I see. They go the other way. You gotta pull them out. Okay. Done. So what I meant by that, here's one plug. Your harness just unplugs here. There's a little clip you push in, pulls out, and then these clips pull down. So, okay, so it looks like the computer ECU is right here. And it looks like this. Oh shit, all this can get plugged back in. None of this needed to get removed, guys. That's pretty dope. Because this is all going to stay after further investigation. There's 4 like 19mm bolts down here that you can take off, and then this whole column will just stay with the motor side. Let's try that. Screw it. And then I think what I'm going to do is just loosen these up. These bolts I'm just going to loosen here. So this top of the column's loose, which will loosen up all this. So that way when I put it back together, I have wiggle room. Wiggle room. Haha. That's a good one. This is like my favorite ratchet ever. Well, they weren't going anywhere, I'll tell you that much. Well, that's tiring. Let me get a small ratchet. Here's a socket. Second favorite ratchet. Done. Yeah, that's loose. So, like I said before, I'm gonna pop these upper bolts here. Let me see if I have a 12 wrench. I don't. Let me go grab one. Yeah, see, next we're gonna move these 4 bolts and pull this cover off. There's 2 here and 2 on the other side, right down here. So we're gonna pull those off real quick. Okay, the next step now, we're gonna remove this harness. So I'm going to pop all these little plastic clips off, and then so you don't have to cut all the stupid zip ties, and then the harness is just floating there. So try to save what you can. I'm gonna remove this ground. I'm gonna disconnect the seat harness. I'm gonna undo the connectors here, or the little the harness clips, the hold down things, and then I'm gonna remove that, and then underneath the taillight, you have these connectors. So you got a big one here, then you have this one, you got this big one, you got this one, and then on the other side it's the same. There's a clip right there. The Christmas tree went right down there. There was another one on the back fender, and then there's another one right in here. It's out. And then there's the harness that goes down. We're gonna go under and see where that harness goes. Okay. It runs right to that plug right there. Right there. And then that's the end of it. So then you're just gonna fish the wires out of this hole, and then pull them back through and freaking zip tie them to something. So we'll be back. So after looking at this, with this hydraulic high pressure line here, it's like locked in here because it comes down from here and then it loops up and around, so it won't come out because it's locked in here with the steering shaft. So I'm wondering, that's might be the easiest thing. Instead of taking this whole bracket off for the foot pedal, I think I'm just going to pull that pinch bolt and then pull these 2 12s. Looks like a 12 there and a 12-12, and see if I can separate this here, and then the high pressure line will just come and it'll hang on the back side of the tractor. Next is the drive shaft. So that's the drive shaft tube. It goes to the rear diff and to the front axle. And it looks like there's a bolt right here holding the tube on, and it looks like that might slide or something there. So I got this crack loose, and then I stopped because I wanted to show you guys. So yeah, let me use more force. I'll be back. I'm gonna give this thing a little tap here and see if it'll pop out. That's moving. Look at that. And if the front comes out, that means you missed a bolt. There's another one right here. We gotta pull that. That's holding the rear tube in place. And this one is holding that front tube in place. So let's pop that up. It looks like a 15 or something. I'll be back. Oh, I see another one. So one on that side and one on that side. I'm gonna use this. Try to put that right there. And then tap this fucking thing. There she goes. This is what I came up with. Came up with my roll punch. And I have a 1/4 inch 11/32. I just grabbed it. I didn't know what size I needed. And a 6-inch long extension. And that's perfect. And I've got a little extender. So this should hopefully fit right there. This keeps. So I don't know if you can tell, but I don't have enough room between the tire and the end of my 1/4 inch extension. So I'm using the hammer sideways instead of long ways. I'm just hitting it on the side here. There we go. Roll pins out. Hey. I'm gonna leave it right there. Screw it. Let me take it all the way out. So I got a few bolts on the top up here. On the top, 2 bolts are pretty tight because they're underneath the center console helm fucking rack thing. And there's a couple more on the right hand side of the tractor that are pretty tight. The passenger side looks way better. So I grabbed a that's weird. A wobble socket. It's a universal 14 mil. This is Matco. And I need my impact. Oh. Found it. All right, so we're gonna start ripping these bolts out. I'm just gonna get a few of them that are tight out of the way because eventually this tractor will slide apart if you remove them all. And I have 0 supports. So your double wrench trick. Put your wrench on. You take a second wrench and you loop it through and you have an extended wrench. You don't want to use a ratchet wrench though to do that. So don't ever do that. Yeah, that's a good one down there. See if the fuck side can get in here. I could probably get it from underneath, actually. All right, it's taking too long. We're going under. That's active. Maybe. Oh. Okay. That took forever. Let's put some supports into this freaking thing. Let me find another small jack stand. See what that does, anything. Got it. Nope. Get my impact, see if I can get that bottom one. I'm done. That was done. Guess what, guys? We have 2 more bolts, and they are loose. or just underneath it. I'm gonna whip them off real quick. And I smell, since that just cracked open a hair, you can see the gap. Right here is kind of opened. You can see air through that. I don't know if you can, but I can. And you can smell that clutch. Whew! I think what happened, you see it splitting. My dad's getting older, and he's getting dementia, and he's literally the smartest guy I know. And I think he was out there, I don't know what he was doing in the back field. He's trying to dig a hole or something with the front bucket that's over there. And I think he was riding the clutch. The tractor was out there in the field for a few days, and then I come over to work on something and ask him what's up, and he's like, the tractor don't go nowhere. Like, oh hell, Dad, what did you do? Well, there goes my timing marks. That's out the window now. There goes my tying the motherfucker up too. Sweet! I think I'm gonna have to pull the drive shaft out all the way, just because the drive shaft is going directly underneath the whole transmission and everything, correct? So the problem with that is I have nowhere to put the jack unless I do it off center, and that just doesn't sit well with me. So I'm gonna try to get this coupler back off. And I think there's another. Yeah, it's moving. Yeah, it's getting longer now, so it is coming out. I can feel it. I can feel it. It's coming. It's out. There it is. Yeah, so the front has one of those couplers too, with the roll pin in it. So we're just gonna put that back in the front. We'll set the back one back in there. Now the jack can set, and hopefully, right there, just lock in. We'll see. I'll show you guys close up later. All right, I got my floor jack set up. Hopefully you guys can see this gap here, how big it is down there. I'm gonna try to jack this up a little bit and see if it closes. Okay, now that gap's pretty even. I simply put a jack through the front, so it's not through the side, so I can still work. But the key to this is the big block of wood. What that block of wood's gonna do is this is support from each side of the oil pan on the vertical, not just in the center on the horizontal, where there's no supports in the center. You'll push the block or the jack pad right through the bottom of the oil pan if you're not supporting from like a vertical corner. Because this corner here is super strong. This corner is super strong. The center is super weak. So, okay. We have a great gap. We're gonna get a pry bar and work at this thing, see what happens. I'm excited. we are coming, dude. Because that's going to stay with the tractor. This is going to stay with the tractor. Hey, Dad, come here. Okay, you need to come. Don't touch that. Come over here. Hold this. Yeah, just hold, well, how about you hold the jack? I want to see what's going on. So, you're going to pull forward. Okay, stop. Let's work it more. Yep, let's work it more. No, not jacking it up. You're just pulling it. Yeah. We're dialed. Hey. All right, moving the back does not work. But rolling the front forward completely does. This is kind of sketchy though. This is what we're looking at. Yeah. It gets better. Don't worry, folks. That is not a squirrel nest. That's a clutch. All right, so we got a couple bolts here. There's one here, one here. There's probably one here, one here, one here. We're gonna remove those. Pull this clutch out. Oh, holy shit. You ready for it? I don't know what's up with this. This is a different bolt than what I pulled out. But, ta-da! Wow. The flywheel bolts, they're 17 mils. So the flywheel is pretty tight in here. You can't just grab it and pull it out, and there's zero room around. So you have a little inspection cover over here. And you got a bunch of drilled holes for balancing here. And if you take something like this and put it in this hole right here, if we rock it back and forth, maybe, we can get it out. This thing, I don't know if it can be turned, but we might want to take it down to a shop, see if they can turn it, because that thing is very expensive from Kubota. We're gonna do a deep clean. So how long is stuff usually in here to get clean?
Flywheels are only a few minutes.
Yeah. What takes the longest?
Engine oils?
Like blocks and shit like that? Yeah.
Yeah, they can be in there for a few days.
It's all cleaned up. Now she's ready to get surfaced. So the deal here, when he cuts this, is there's 3 different lips here, and they're gonna cut just this lip here, not in here, and then he's gonna cut this out lip. So whatever he removes from here, he's gotta remove from here, so that way the disc sits at the same place and the offset's right between the pressure plate and the disc. Dylan likes it. Does that tell you how much it removes?
Not anymore.
Oh. He's gonna do a quick check without the motor in the way. This thing new, $1,300. It's a ton of money. So if you can have it resurfaced, I would definitely do that before you start purchasing a new one. They'll be able to check it, they'll cut it, and there's a wear that they can only cut so much off of it. So if yours has worked too bad, then of course they can't save it and you need to buy a new one. But this whole thing is probably going to cost somewhere around $50 maybe to have this thing cut. So that's a huge savings. Look at that thing. That's nice. Real nice.